Right here in front.
I was just wondering how many recordings you did for the Mary Marble Marching Society, and if you have any favorites.
If I have any favorite what?
You remember the recordings you did for the Mary Marble
Marching Society?
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically any recordings. You mean the time that I marched all the artists to a recording studio and we made a record? Or you
Tell us about it. Tell us about that one, yeah. I don't know about that one.
Well, I don't know how much all of you know about the Mary Marble Marching Society, which of course is one of the great clubs of all time. We had so many fans, I wanted to get a club for them. And again, I don't like to do things that are too ordinary, so I figured we'll get a marching society. Of course, we never marched anywhere. And I made a contest out of it. I had a column called the Soapbox, Stan's Soapbox. So I mentioned I was in a former club and I'd give a no prize to anybody who could figure out what the name of the club was. I said it'll be the MMMS. Now our no prizes, for those of you who don't know, I was a terrible cheapskate. When we had contests, I didn't want to have to send out prizes. Everybody does that. So I figured we do something better. We give out no prizes. That's unique. It really started because I also make a lot of mistakes, I have no memory at all. So I'd forget the names of my characters when I was writing the stories. I'd call Bruce Banner, I think that was the Hulk, yeah. I'd call Bruce Banner Bob Banner in one story, because I couldn't remember. And I'd get a lot of letters. Hey, idiot, don't you know his name is Bruce? So that's what made me decide. I said, from now, in my little editorial, I wrote, from now on, anybody who finds a mistake, they call them boo-boos. Ridiculous, babyish. Anybody who finds a boo-boo in our magazines, we'll send them a no prize. So everybody tried to find mistakes, and they wrote these letters. And they thought they'd get a prize, but I'd send them an empty envelope. And on the envelope, on the front of the envelope, I read, "Congratulations, you're another lucky winner of a Marble No Prize." You'd be surprised how many dumb readers we had, because Martin would write in, "Hey, you must have forgot that prize. In the envelope, there was nothing there." I'm only kidding, we had smart readers. I only got one of those letters from a DC reader. So anyway, in the club that we formed, the Mary Marble Marching Society, we made a few recordings, I guess. And I wrote some songs, which I don't remember now. But what I thought you were referring to, the only actual recording I remember, I don't know why I did it. Maybe we were all drunk, but we said to the artist, let's make a recording. We'll make a little record. I found out you could, in those days, they didn't have discs or anything, records. Everybody had a Victrola with records. You could get a little disc made out of plastic for a fraction of a cent. So, as you can tell, we were no big spenders. I figured for $10 I could get thousands of discs. So we went to a recording studio, and I dragged the artists and a few writers. I dragged Kirby with me, Art Simic, our letterer, and Sal Brodsky, my assistant. I think John Romita was there. And we didn't know what we were going to say, but we just started talking. I remember I said something, and Kirby said, "Hey, don't try to be funny, Lee." I was trying to be desperately serious. And we made that recording. And a lot of people sent away for it. And a lot of people give it to me to autograph when I'm doing an autograph session. They say, "We've kept this recording over the years. You'd think it was something by Caruso." And that's the story of that. So like I told you, I give these long-winded answers. You got to stop me in the middle of it, you know. Any other hands? Or else we can all go home. Back there. What happened to my hand picker?
Right here.
Sorry. I already picked one, though. Don't get angry.
What's your favorite superhero that you haven't created?
Wait, I can't hear you.
What's your favorite superhero you haven't created yet?
My favorite superhero. If I haven't created him, how can I have a favorite? I don't know who he is. You mean of other people's heroes?
Yes.
Believe it or not, there's a guy, and if I don't remember his name, that DC publishes, who's
Lobo.
the baddest person.
Lobo.
Lobo! I like Lobo.
Bob
I
Kane.
wish I had made up Lobo, because he's the most horrible, unpleasant, terrible character. I don't know why DC was lucky enough to get him. Speaking of DC, I gotta tell you something funny. We were called Timely Comics, and then we were called Atlas Comics. After the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and all the other characters started doing so well, and I came up with the expression, welcome to the Marvel Age of Comics, I decided, no, that was before I said that, I decided we ought to change our name. We're not doing the same books we were doing when we were Atlas, so I came up with the name Marvel. Because I love slogans, then I was able to write, welcome to the Marvel Age of Comics, and make mine Marvel, and stuff like that. Well, when we changed our name to Marvel, DC, which was called National Comics at the time, they decided they're going to change their name. They'd show us Boynton. And I understand that they actually paid a company a lot of money to come up with it. I didn't know there were companies that make up names. They found a company. And they paid a lot of money. Now I want you to get this. We were Marvel. And what did they come up with? DC. And you wonder why we outsell them? That was the kind of thinking. Hey, we'll call ourselves DC, that'll show Marvel. Now they can say, welcome to the world of DC Comics. Any other questions? Right here. Oh, you're able to think I'm anti-DC, I don't want to give that impression. Point.
Right here, Stan. When I was young, I used to rush home so I could watch Spider-Man. Who did you rush home to watch or listen to or read?
I never rushed home, I was always home. There was nobody to watch when I was a kid because they didn't, I'm embarrassed to say it, they didn't have television when I was young. And I would trip over the horse and buggy when I was running. We had radio shows, and I would rush home to watch Shandu the Magician, or the Lone Ranger, or the Shadow Knows, stuff like that.
Go Flash Gordon?
Hey, speaking of that, you know, we finally, when I was about, I guess 25 years old, or 30, I don't know, I remember they invented television, and my wife and I, we bought one of the first television sets, and it was this big. But that wasn't the screen, that was the box. The screen was 3 inches. 3 inches! And we were so excited. The neighbors would all come in to look at the picture. 3 inches! Finally, one guy, very wealthy person that we knew, got himself a TV with a 10-inch screen. Nobody could believe it. It's better than going to a movie. He's got a 10-inch screen. And it was black and white. And there were only about 5 channels. And they all signed off after midnight. It was, you wouldn't believe how primitive it was years ago. Now, man, now television is almost becoming replaced by what you can get on your computer and on your iPad and your iPhone. And it's amazing how fast things are changing, which has nothing to do with the questions you asked, so if you take somebody else. I told you I ran one.
Right back there.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm a graphic designer, and one of the things that we're just studying is comic books and how they kind of intermingle with graphic design. When you first started doing layouts for comics, were